We've seen a major shift in the video game industry. People don't trust AAA companies anymore who claim that they're putting their best foot forward in terms of development when really they are putting in the least amount of effort possible. This is why we're seeing games like Where Winds Meet hit insane player numbers, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 sweeping the award shows already, titles like Stellar Blade breaking records, and Arc Raiders hitting insane player counts when titles like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Concord, even Borderlands 4 have disappointed. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I think it is amazing that these AAA companies finally are going to have to realize what it is that they are doing wrong, or else they are going to go under. Look at the way companies like Ubisoft are struggling right now. Look at how much debt they're in. Their titles keep releasing and are failures. They are underperforming. They are not financially bringing in the funds they expected. While you have games like Expedition 33, Arc Raiders, even Where Winds Meet doing amazing. And I love to see this happen because competition is healthy. And the reason why I talk about the Ubisofts and EAs and BioWares and Obsidians is because I want companies to do better. I want this industry to thrive. I love video games. I love stories that are in games. I love the interactivity, but we have seen all of these large companies get too comfortable over the years, and they can't really do that anymore. They always need to stay on their toes, and we could see games evolve because of the competition. Now, I wanted to primarily talk about indies and newer games that are doing really well compared to the AAA SLOP that has been releasing. So this post is phenomenal, in my opinion. Winds rise through the bamboo forest, and with a sword in hand, we step into Jianghu. 9 million wanderers have set out from our humble abode among the bamboo. Thank you. 9 million players in 2 weeks is fantastic. This is a game that released on PS5, on Steam, on Epic, on the Windows Store, and yes, it is a free-to-play game, which does help the numbers be boosted, but it also is a title that does have microtransactions, and I think a lot of people are willing to at least buy a battle pass in a free-to-play game, never mind buying cosmetics. Also, this does have some more gacha skin mechanics where you can spend like $70,000 to get a super rare custom boat, but we are talking about 9 million people in 2 weeks downloading a game that did have some hype behind it, but did not get widespread media attention, and it just proves yet again how insignificant the Kotakus, the Polygons, the PC gamers really are, and how most people don't care about what they have to say, and their silence speaks very loudly. Heading on over to Steam, the all-time peak was 9 days ago at 251,008 over on, again, Steam. This isn't the only platform it released on, but the fact that it has held about 150,000 players on a Tuesday afternoon is pretty good. Same goes with another recently released title, Arc Raiders. The all-time peak 16 days ago was 481,000 people, but the 24-hour peak is 318,000, and in-game right now is 251,000. So even this game has not had any sort of player count problem since release. It has held steady, and I think that as we are getting closer to the wipe in, I think it's about 2 weeks, we are going to see those numbers go up even more because people are kind of rushing to the finish line to be able to get items. It's not a forced wipe, though. Nobody has to do it, but I do think a lot of people are for the extra like cosmetics and inventory space and whatnot. But we are talking about a game that I don't want to necessarily say came out of nowhere because it was officially announced 3 years ago, but it went through a major change during development. It originally was just going to be PvE co-op, which now it's an extraction PvPvE game, which definitely I think helped it. It is doing really good, but it's a high quality title that is not at full price. This is a $40 game. I think that AAA companies need to take notes. They need to put less money into games because really they need to hire less people for games and they need to charge a lower price tag, and therefore they're going to get way more people in the title at once. Just looking at the owner estimations on Steam alone, if we go by the roughly 6 million, which is the higher end, that's $240 million for one single platform. That is crazy. And that's only at 40. If they had charged 70, I do think less people would have bought it. Technically, yes, they might have made more profits. But at the end of the day, they are doing phenomenal. Number 4 in active users, number 4 top sellers, number 2 wishlist activity, 340,000 followers, 200,000 reviews, and the game is still pretty freaking new. Look at Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Yes, it is a single player game, so numbers do eventually fall off, and they have, because people played through it. They'll play it maybe again when new content comes out, but all-time peak was 145,063 owner estimations. Again, around 4 million for one single platform, and this title is already sweeping the competition during the award season. Now, I don't trust really the golden joysticks. I don't trust the Game Awards by Jeff Keighley. I don't trust the Grammys. It's always nice when your favorite game wins, but ultimately, most of these award shows are shill awards, though. While the Game Awards is still at this point about a week and a half away, other award shows like the Golden Joysticks have already passed by, giving hints at what to expect from upcoming ceremonies, and this game dominated. Expedition 33 won all of its Golden Joystick nominations. Now, I think at the Game Awards, we are going to see it win most of the categories except for Game of the Year, and I think Game of the Year is going to go to Hades 2 because Hades 2 has a higher critic score, and at the Game Awards, critics count for about 90% of the vote, which is insane to me, but I think that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is likely to sweep those smaller categories. I'd be happy either way, but ultimately, again, we don't necessarily trust them. Though, if we compare these numbers to other AAA games that have come out over the past couple of years, it's not looking good. Borderlands 4, yes, did have a pretty high peak player count, 304,398. The owner estimations on Steam are only about 2 million, and they also said that even though it's made a lot of money, it still hasn't made the amount of money that they expected. It's crazy that you can sell millions of copies and a company is still not happy, but that's what happens when you pay thousands and thousands of people and you put hundreds of millions of dollars into a honestly really mediocre game. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has 200 players in game right now, 13,459 all-time peak on Steam, and a big reason why this failed was because it wasn't what people wanted. It didn't feature Batman except for when you're killing him. It didn't feel like the rest of the Arkhamverse games at all whatsoever. They completely disrespected the Justice League and all of these cool characters. You had this cringy cast of characters. You also are just talking about so many problems with the story, and it's just such a terrible game all around. One of the worst I have ever played. And then you have Concord, 697 all-time peak on Steam. They put hundreds of millions of dollars into it, and it failed on launch. So funny to see this happen. Terrible character designs, terrible gameplay, mediocre world building. You, of course, have identity politics in all of these games. In this, you had pronouns galore, you had its, you had theys, you had thems, and he's and she's. In Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you had Greta Poison Ivy. You had Harley, who hated the Joker and really hated all men, so she was a feminist. And it's just so sad to see the AAA space be so bad because, yeah, in theory, they have so much money and they have the ability to hire so many good people that they should be able to create better content, but they can't. And this is what happens when you focus on DEI initiatives first before making entertainment. This is what happens when you hire activists and these studios become echo chambers. And this is why I always look to indies and double A's first and foremost, because they are doing so good. They are creating so many amazing experiences. And if you look at Stellar Blade, right, which we just had heard broke insane records, it's very easy to see that people are also making the shift. Yes, AAA games do still sell. It's not like they are completely dead at this point, but man, oh man, are they facing more and more backlash with every single release. We just found out that Stellar Blade is the best-selling PlayStation exclusive single-player PC launch in history, beating out The Last of Us, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, tons of different titles. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on the indie and double A scene. There are some amazing games that are out right now, and it's funny to see the AAA scene really dying and facing so many problems. And if they don't make a shift soon, they are going to be completely dead. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important, informative, and entertaining, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.